Welcome back, Daniel Browning here. I'm with the artist Anna Miller at Purple Noon Gallery, and we're here to talk about her exhibition Waking Dreamland. Let's begin here with this extraordinary set piece. Anna, tell me about this dress.
Yeah, thank you. I made this dress and it's from a very old pattern and purchased it overseas, and so I had to sort of lay it all down and put all the bits and pieces together like a jigsaw. But I had a lot of fun, a bit of heartache, but I really enjoyed doing it. I want to make more. It was so much fun.
And I think we have the pattern to the original dress here.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, it was a bit crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Massive. It's upside down, I think, but it doesn't matter.
I don't even understand what happened.
Another language.
But
fabulous.
And let's talk about, I mean, it's clearly, in the French style, something that Marie Antoinette would have worn, the Queen of France, the guillotined Queen of France.
Yes.
And she's actually a figure in some of your artworks.
Yeah.
What does Marie Antoinette, the Queen of France, represent?
Yeah, I was just fascinated by her life, and I suppose too I started making these strange headpieces myself, and I thought, what sort of person does that? And then I stumbled upon Marie Antoinette, so I've actually put my doll's house on her head here. But I'm fascinated too, and I know, Daniel, you've been to the place in France, how she has a small village and so on.
Yeah, well, we know that Marie Antoinette loved to dress as a milkmaid.
Yeah.
And she has a working dairy farm on the estate of Versailles called Les Hameaux.
Yeah.
Let's face it, Marie Antoinette was bonkers. But it's incredible to see what I love about this image, the Australian background in this clearly kind of dissonant image.
Yes.
The Baroque and the kind of Australian superimposed.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
And let's look at this one over here. I'm particularly fascinated with the model that you use in these artworks. A relative of yours?
Yeah, Imogen, she's just gorgeous inside and out. I just love how this has turned out, and to me there's a bit of sort of pattern on the top which I really liked coming through, but she was just magic to photograph, and I'm just so happy with how they all turned out and all the beautiful detail, and the dress just looked magic on her, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I like that juxtaposition between the clearly European and the Baroque and the Australian. It's fascinating. But can we talk about these ones over here? Slightly Harlequin-esque figures.
Yeah.
Is this the face of a doll? It looks like a china or a bisque doll.
Yeah, it's a rather large doll. And this one is actually, I actually made all her outfit out of paper besides the layers that are on top. And this is another shoot that was inside a bathtub. So there's so many layers to this one, and the little chandeliers. This one has got a werewolf sort of skeleton doll sort of stuff, but that's the same person across. You wouldn't think so, but it's great what you can do.
And these you're fascinated with architecture. You can see some architecture in this work. These arches, you're fascinated by the old and deco and kind of colonial architecture of Sydney.
Oh, definitely. And like, it just blew me away when I went to New York, just seeing the buildings. And when I had a teacher when I was at TAFE, and he used to take us on excursions every week, and we'd just see the absolute beauty in the buildings, and we'd write about it the following week, and I just really loved that, so it was great.
And let's go over here. I'm fascinated with the disco ball kind of element. We're of a generation, we spend a lot of time in the clubs. But this particular figure here was the candelabra head. Tell me a little bit about how you conceived of that work. What's going on there?
I just love chandeliers, to be honest, and when I moved to the area, I've moved to Bowen Mountain with my partner and my little our 3-year-old, sorry. It's just the beauty of the country, and that's from an area in Richmond. Most of the things that were the artworks, the content that was shot was in Bowen Mountain, which is where we live, and it's just magic. It reminds me of my grandmother, who we'd visit when we were little in Maitland, and I just loved it. The pepper trees, everything about it. So,
all right, let's move around the exhibition. About the frames are quite fantastic as well. I mean, the artworks are beautiful, but the frames as well.
Yeah, I just find them like the architecture. I just love anything vintage pretty much, and I wanted to evoke with the sort of dreamy, goldy sort of silver tones to come across through my work as well. So I just thought it was important to go all the way and have it from the beauty inside and out, pretty much. So
there's an authenticity in the frames and to what's being depicted, the kind of antique, and the obsessive kind of detail, the baroque.
Yeah, it's funny when you put it all together and things like that too. I just keep thinking like the history and where else, you know, soaked up. I just find it really fascinating, but I just love detail. I just think it's, yeah. And
the location here, this is an orange grove?
Yeah, orange grove in Richmond's area.
So we're talking local?
Everything's pretty local that's in this room, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And I think down here, we're seeing elements of the central, kind of, if you like, the central inspiration, the central artwork in the exhibition. And this is the dollhouse here.
Yeah.
I think a rear view. We can see the chandelier, which lights up here in the background, and all those disembodied dolls with their doily heads. But again, the Marie Antoinette figure.
Yeah, this was one of my favourite images. I just love Imogen's look there in her eyes when she's looking down here. I just think she looks absolutely stunning. Yeah, and I just had a lot of fun making it a bit more dreamlike in a way, but yeah, she just looks magic. This one here. I actually made the frame I purchased, but I've made these out of doilies and so on, just bringing my prop background into the whole concept of it all.
And so where do you buy the frames? I mean, are they reproductions or are they actual original old frames?
A lot of them are original, yeah, from everywhere and anywhere. Yeah, it's just been a really good experience. So to me, one of my friends gave me a whole, like this one here, this beautiful turquoise bag. As you can see, I quite like turquoise. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of elements that played the key part, which steered me in the direction of having this exhibition also focused on Marie Antoinette. So
she's a divisive figure, Marie Antoinette. I mean, we know she lost her head for crimes against the people, and of course the French Revolution. She's a figure from history, but at a deeper level, I guess she also represents something else. I mean, you don't know a great deal about the history. That's not necessarily of interest. But what it is what she represents, the kind of visual splendour, the kind of belle epoque of the French Empire.
Yeah, I just find it really fascinating. So.
And you love the style.
I do.
Fashion's really important to you.
It is. I wish when I did my degree that I actually did fashion design, because I just love making things. And I mean, I still make things with my hands and so on, but I'm going to dive further in. Yeah, it's been good fun.
And I think there is a genre of artist who's working particularly with these kind of extraordinary detailed sets, fashion photographers who become fine art practitioners. So there's definitely a kind of a genre of people who, you know, have worked in the fashion industry, in photography, fashion photography, who have gone on to become, you know, what we would call contemporary artists. So you're not alone. Let's keep moving. This one is interesting. It strikes me as being kind of not really, yes, slightly otherworldly in relation to the rest of the artwork. And I think it's the colours, and I think it's the content. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, that was at the Orchards as well. I've made it a bit more sort of trippy, I suppose, with the dolls. This beautiful doll that I found as well. But this little piece up here, it's a little crocheted piece of some swans that my grandmother actually made. Yeah, it's got a lot to it that I found a good journey.
And this object here, is it the object that's reflected in this artwork?
Yeah.
So these are set pieces, props from the artwork?
Yeah. A lot of that's, it's not this one, but there's another one in the room hiding. But yeah, and the background is actually the view from our balcony in Bowen Mountain. It's just
absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
What, in the morning?
That was when it was a bit foggy in the afternoon.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I remember these crocheted swans. They used to be able to. They were holders for jewellery. They were kind of embroidered into doilies. I remember seeing them. And my mum had a collection, I think. But yeah, you put your jewellery in them. Yeah. All kinds of crazy things. And lastly, over here, this kind of image of the sunflower children.
Yeah, this is one of my favourites actually. it's various artworks combined, but I really like the fact that this reminds me, because as you know I love Alice in Wonderland, but this reminds me of a rabbit, sort of like as if it's elongated and sitting up. And then I've cut out Imogen, the character Marie Antoinette, and bought this other beautiful mirror piece here. But yeah, it's very fairy tale, this one. It's one of my favourites. And yeah, I had a lot of fun putting little faces in the flowers that I purchased. I love sunflowers.
It's my favourite, one of my favourites,
Yeah.
true. I like it.
Thank you.
So, Anna, thank you so much for walking me around Waking Dreamland. Anything you'd like to say before you go about, you know, what visitors could expect if we didn't live in socially distant times and COVID-19 wasn't a worry?
Well, all I can say is thank you very much, and to Robin, you've been amazing. And I just wanted to say it'd be great if you could come along and visit, because it'd be great to see the interior to the doll's house. And thank you.
Excellent. Excellent.